Stoke get busy. Coventry spend more of that Gyökeres cash. Friends reunited at Sunderland and Norwich. And Sheffield Wednesday finally gets started. All of that and much, much more in a bumper transfer update. Well, the cat is away. The transfers will happen. I've been on holiday for a few days, so it's our first transfer update in about a week. We have lots to get through. Let's start at Stoke, where things have been very busy. We've already covered the arrivals of Stevens, Rose, Johnson, Pearson, Hoover and Chiquinho. Now, here comes May, Vidigal, Wesley and Travers. Let's start with Travers on loan from Bournemouth. It's an easy one for us, isn't it? As he played the entire season for the Cherries when they went up in 2022. 24 is young for a keeper, but he should be well and truly ready to go. Wesley, striker from Villa, also on loan. Look, this one could go either way. Huge transfer fee paid by Villa back in 2019. I guess you can call him a €25 million striker playing in the Championship. That wouldn't be a lie, but it doesn't really mean anything unless his goal-scoring record picks up from the last few seasons. Andre Vidigal is in on a permanent left-sided attacker, only 24. 8 goals in the top tier in Portugal for a side that ultimately got relegated, and then Stoke swooped. Smart if you can adjust to the Championship. Last, and certainly not least, as we think this is the chunkiest transfer fee paid by Stoke, is Ryan May. Moroccan striker, goal every other game in the past few seasons, but in Cyprus and Hungary, how will he go in England in the Championship? Fair play Stoke though, what looked like a pretty dull window just got very interesting. The parachute teams are still active, although we expect them to go right through to deadline day given the big assets they've all still got on their books. Leeds United have themselves a keeper, Carl Darlow. Bit of a messing goal for Leeds last season, bit of a shame as well, as I do like it when a young keeper comes all the way through, but Meslier looks as though his race is run there. Daniel Farke benefited from having Tim Krul at Norwich. This feels like a similar profile of deal. At Leicester, Steffi Mavididi is in. Been expecting this one for a while. Again, big fee by Championship standards as Leicester look to replace the output of Barnes and Maddison. Left-sided attacker, been at some huge clubs, Arsenal and Juventus. Really good stint at Montpellier as well. In theory, Championship shouldn't be too big a stretch for him. Let's go to 2 of our playoff losers from last season. Coventry continue to work on their new look team and reinvest in that Victor Gyökeres money. Bobby Thomas was one of those really annoying ones that happened almost straight after I finished recording the last transfer video. What are you going to do, hey? In on a permanent from Burnley. He was excellent at League One level, first at Bristol Rovers and Barnsley last season, where he reached the playoff final in a back 3. Same standard was set by Coventry, a division higher. Can Thomas go with them? Luis Binks is another centre half. He came through at Spurs, but joins Cov on loan from Bologna. Of course he does. He was in the Italian second tier last season. New one on me, could become part of what's starting to look like a completely new backline at the CBS. Here is the exciting one though. Milan van Evik, Dutch right back, under 21 international, and this is what teams trying to compete in the very uneven financial landscape in the Championship need to do. Cash in and move up to the higher ticket assets. Now, it's very easy for Coventry fans to fall into the trap of thinking that all of their transfers now are going to be smash hit home runs after the success of Gyökeres and Hamer. They're on a winning streak and I hope they continue to work the oracle, but just worth remembering that not all transfers work out quite so perfectly. Over at Sunderland, we've got my favourite scenario, a familiar one and a less familiar one coming in. Bradley Dack reunites with Tony Mowbray after his deal at Blackburn ran down. On his day, Dack is a superb creative force in the Championship, just hopelessly unlucky with injuries the last few years though. Let's see if he can get himself a regular run of games again at Sunderland. And this one is right on brand for the Mackems at the moment. Elisa Mayenda, 18 years old, Spanish striker, signed from a French B team for a fee. As you can imagine, a completely new one on me. But look, if you want some fun, exotic dealings, the Stadium of Light is where to go. Let's do the promoted League One teams. And by God, Sheffield Wednesday have actually signed some players. Ashley Fletcher is in on loan from Watford. He's unfortunately a bit tarnished with that arrival at Middlesbrough with Britt Assombalonga for absolute mega bucks, and let's just say not quite delivering on the outlay. Still only 27, but as you can imagine, much to prove. Deshaun Bernard, again in that category, much younger than Fletcher, arrives on a free from Manchester United. His loans have gone League 2, Championship, and then back down to League 1. He's in the Championship again now, time to step up. Juan Delgado, he's in on a permanent, very experienced Chilean right back, just been relegated from the top tier in Portugal, in come Wednesday to take him. Paul Valentin is also coming up as a right back on the website I'm looking at for my research. He's in from the second tier in Spain. Look, Wednesday needed some bodies. They've got some. Hopefully there's plenty of quality arrived as well. One more in at Plymouth, that's Lewis Warrington. He's a midfielder in on loan from Everton, young player who spent all of last season working with Scott Brown at Fleetwood. We'll keep bracketing the inseparable Watford and Norwich together as year 2 parachute teams, and we have a lovely played for both to make that an even more pertinent link. Jamal Lewis, who was left back in that brilliant team for Norwich that went up in 2019. He comes into Watford on loan from Newcastle, where he's just not featured the past couple of seasons. Big Val loves a wing back, so it may be a slightly different role. He just needs to get playing again though, Lewis. Watford still haven't announced the Georgian lad. I'm going to refer to him as that we mentioned last time at time of filming here. At Norwich, Christian Fasnacht is reunited with David Wagner. The Canaries again going for experience and leadership. This guy has played an absolute shedload of games for young boys and at the World Cup for Switzerland last year. Let's lump West Brom in with those two as well. Painfully quiet for the Baggies, understandably so if we believe the severity of the rumours about their financial state. Jeremy Sarmiento is in on loan from Brighton. Wide attacker, 21 years old, full international for Ecuador. Look, Brighton has historically been a really good place for Championship loans, but I still think the West Brom fans are going to be in concerned mode and certainly wanting a bit more in terms of new blood this window. Birmingham continue their big, optimistic, fun new look under their new ownership. Another reasonably sized fee, we think, for Lee Buchanan from Werder Bremen. He was there last season, but frankly, I'm sure we all remember him at Derby County in the Championship as a left-sider with a massive leap as well, very good in the air. He knows the division, good age, and he joins this optimistic outlook at Blues. Couple more at Swansea as well. Mike Duff now getting to grips with his first window building his team. He's got himself a keeper on loan. Speaking of Brighton loanees, Carl Rushworth comes in. Mike Duff would have come up against Rushworth during Rushworth's loan stint at Lincoln last campaign. Duff repeating the trick of using a lone keeper after he took Harry Eisted all the way to the playoff final on loan from Luton. Here we go then. Also arriving is Mykola Kukurevich, a Ukrainian under-21 international on loan from Troyes. Scored 5 at Hibs in Scotland last season. We're still trying to piece together what the Swansea attack is going to look like. Joel Pirro's still there amidst much chitter-chatter. We focus mainly on the outgoings from the organisation at QPR, but a couple of incomings to hopefully cheer up the Rangers fan base. Morgan Fox comes in on a free from Stoke. He can play centre-back, full-back on the left-hand side. Super experience from stints at Charlton Wednesday and Stoke, where he is no longer needed. He, though, can't touch Jack Colback for experience, though. Not many can. He comes in too from Forest, 33, been there, done it for Sunderland and Newcastle in the Premier League. Recently promoted with Forest, actually ended up covering at right wing back for them as they eventually got over the line. Is it the hyped up young player whose value is going to increase massively and get everyone excited? No. But Rangers do need to add leadership in order to stop that losing culture that's been growing there. Nearly there, I promise. Huddersfield have taken Tom Edwards from Stoke. I'm sure we will get our typical Neil Warnock cascade of deals coming in the last week of August, but pretty quiet thus far. 2 more in for Rotherham as well and Matt Taylor. Fred Onyedinma comes in on loan from Luton. He's turned into more of a wing-back over at Kenilworth Road than the winger he was at Millwall. Loads of pace and energy, can be a big asset, needs the right team structure around him. And Dexter Lembikiska, a young fullback from Wolves, comes in on loan and completes a marathon update. Sorry, it's been such a dense one. How dare I take a holiday, right? I think we're all caught up for now. Let's be honest, some deals will go through immediately after I do this. But get your thoughts in via the comments on any of those many deals. Which do you like? And remember, it is okay to talk about any of the other 23 teams you don't support. There will likely be a rush now as people try and get deals done for opening day. Fingers crossed it then quietens down a bit before the sheer hysteria of deadline day and the build-up throughout the end of August. Stick with us on the channel. Click here. It's been 1 to 24 predictions time. Those beautiful time capsules that can make me look either very smart, rarely, or very silly, regularly. I've done the Championship and League One, so why not have a look and get involved with your own 1 to 24s in the comments.